Timeless.
And I am Classic.
On Confession Night, every Monday, 9:15 to 10 p.m. This is a place where real people share their deepest, darkest secrets.
Are you also ready to ignite the spark in your love life?
Every Wednesday, 9:15 to 10 p.m. on Bedroom Bliss, it's a moment to explore the heart of intimacy, passion, and connection. We also delve into topics like desire, pleasure, and vulnerability, and help you create a more fulfilling and satisfying love life.
And relieve the excitement of first date debrief every Friday, 9:15 to 10 p.m., where we dive into the high and lows of new love.
From the shadows to the spotlight, let's explore the human experience in all its complexity. Stay glued to Whispers in the Dark on Radio Afinju for a journey that will leave you breathless.
Hey there, Super Kids! Are you ready for a ride of fun and learning? Get ready to blast off on Kids Arena with Auntie Pearl and crew on Radio Afinju every Saturday at 10 to 11 a.m. Listen to stories that will tickle your bones, games that will blow your mind, and music that will make you dance like no one's watching. There's also lots of surprises and gifts to be won. So gather your friends, turn up the volume, let's have fun and make awesome memories together on Kids Arena with Auntie Pearl and crew. Only on Radio Afinju. Yay!
Wherever you're listening or watching Radio Afinju, the time is 3 p.m.
First, a look at the highlights. Shettima departs Abuja for U.S. to attend 79th UNGA. INEC begins collation of election results in Edo. Trump rejects second television debate as too late. A very good afternoon and welcome to the World News on Radio Afinju. My name is Stella. Aderanti, the news in detail. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for the United States to attend the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nwocha, said Shettima left the country at the directive of President Bola Tinubu. According to him, President Tinubu had directed the Vice President to lead the country's delegation to the high-level global forum while he focused on addressing pressing domestic issues, including the recent devastating flood disaster. During the session, Vice President Shettima will deliver Nigeria's national statement, participate in key meetings on the sidelines of the event, and engage in bilateral meetings. The high-level general debate themed "Leaving No One Behind," acting together for the advancement of peace, sustainable development, and human dignity for present and future generations, is scheduled to take place from September 24th to September 28th, 2024. Collation of the gubernatorial election results in Edo State by the Independent National Electoral Commission is in progress. This was revealed by the National Commissioner and member, Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Haruna, during a press conference. INEC also said it had activated the INEC Results Viewing Portal to upload the polling unit results in earnest. The same results have also been collated from all the 192 wards. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged President Bola Tinubu to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and appropriate anti-corruption agencies to promptly investigate the spending of the billions of naira of ecological fund collected by Borno State since 2001 including the 816 million naira collected by the state between January 2024 and June 2024. Serap said suspected perpetrators of allegations of corruption and mismanagement of ecological funds should face prosecution as appropriate if there is sufficient admissible evidence, and any proceeds of corruption should be fully recovered. Serap also urged him to direct Fagbemi and appropriate anti-corruption agencies to urgently identify and ensure access to justice and effective remedies to affected victims in Borno State. The group urged him to direct Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, to work with appropriate anti-corruption agencies to track and monitor the spending of ecological funds by the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, 36 state governors, the 774 local government areas, as well as all emergency management agencies across the country funded through the ecological fund. Fire has gutted a section of a University College Hospital in Ibadan, Oyo State, in the early hours of the day. It was learned that the fire broke out in one of the hospital's offices on the third floor of Southwest 3rd Ward. However, men of the Oyo State Fire Service arrived at the hospital to put out the fire, which led to confusion in the wards as patients and their relations in the nearby wards were running around during the fire incident. There has been no official statement from UCH management regarding the incident. Boko Haram terrorists have reportedly destroyed Damaturu Maiduguri 330 kilovolt transmission line barely 3 weeks after it was restored. Security analyst Zaguzola Makama disclosed this in a post on his X account. According to him, the terrorists blew up the TCN infrastructure with improvised explosive devices in the early hours of the day. The development had plunged Maiduguri and the surrounding environment into complete darkness. The incident is coming weeks after TCN restored the line on September 4, 2024, following its earlier destruction by terrorists. Meanwhile, TCN is yet to officially speak on the latest incident. The Adamawa government has confirmed the outbreak of cholera in the state, with 12 persons' deaths recorded. The State Commissioner for Health, Felix Tangwami, while confirming the outbreak in a statement in Yola, said out of 50 samples of suspected cases, 30 were positive. Tangwami said that 6 of the deaths were recorded at the facility, 6 occurred at home, and while about 308 people were admitted, with 244 treated and discharged. Away from Nigeria, Sri Lanka's presidential election has gone into the second round for the first time in its history. No candidate received the mandatory 50% of votes in the first election since an unprecedented financial crisis hit the South Asian island nation 2 years ago. Marxist-leaning politician Anura Dissanayake, seen as an alternative to the traditional political elite, secured 39.5% of the votes ahead of the opposition leader Sajid Premadasa, who attained 34%. The Election Commission told reporters the incumbent president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, has been disqualified along with the remaining 36 candidates. A second round of counting is underway to decide the winner of the presidential race. Wickremesinghe, who led the heavily indebted nation's fragile economic recovery from a debilitating crisis in 2022, trailed in third with only 17% of the vote. Though he stabilized the economy after it defaulted on its loans in 2022, his failure to address the cost of living crisis swayed voters away from him. His association with the Rajapaksa family, who have been blamed for the economic crisis, also probably dented his appeal. In Europe, French President Emmanuel Macron has unveiled his new government almost 3 months after a snap general election delivered a hung Parliament. The long-awaited new lineup, led by Prime Minister Michel Barnier, marks a decisive shift to the right, even though a left-wing alliance won most parliamentary seats. Despite the partnership between Macron's centrist party and those on the right, Parliament remains fractured and will rely on the support of other parties to pass legislation. It comes as the European Union puts France on notice over its spiraling debt, which now far exceeds EU rules. Among those gaining a position in the new cabinet is Bruno Retailleau, a key member of the Conservative Republicans Party, founded by former President Nicolas Sarkozy. He has been appointed Interior Minister, a portfolio that includes immigration. Reports gather that a total of 10 politicians from the Republicans have been given cabinet jobs, though Macron has kept a number of outgoing ministers in key posts. More heavy rain is set to lash parts of the UK in the coming days after thunderstorms hit many areas. Further yellow weather warnings for rain have been issued by the Met Office for today and Monday. Thunder, lightning, hail and rain struck various parts of the country on Saturday, including Luton, Bedfordshire, St Albans in Hertfordshire and Cornwall, with heavy downpours in London, Wales and Birmingham. Its meteorologist Becky Mitchell said the weather will be unsettled at the start of the week, with the potential for more localized flooding. The Met Office said heavy rain will continue into Monday, spreading further across northern and eastern England, with power cuts, flooding of homes and businesses, and delays to train and bus services possible. From the Americas, former U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will not take part in a second television debate ahead of November's presidential election, while Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party's candidate, accepted an invitation to the CNN debate on 23rd October. Republican nominee Trump told the rally it was too late as voting has already started. Harris's campaign team said that given the former president claimed to have won their previous debate in Philadelphia earlier this month, he should accept. Snap polls taken after that encounter suggested a majority of viewers believe the vice president outperformed her challenger. After the 10th September debate, Trump said there would be no further debates. Speaking at a rally in Wilmington, North Carolina, he claimed victory in that earlier head-to-head and said it was just too late for another. Still in the Americas, at least 4 people have been killed and 18 injured in a mass shooting in Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham police officer Truman Fitzgerald said multiple shooters fired multiple shots on a group of people late on Saturday in the 5 Points South area of the city. He said police found the bodies of 2 men and 1 woman at the scene, and a 4th victim died of bullet wounds in hospital. Fitzgerald added that detectives are investigating whether the gunman walked up to the victims or drove by, but no suspects have been arrested. The 5 Points South district is known for its nightlife. It was learned the shooting occurred at Magnolia Avenue. Speaking about the injured, Fitzgerald told reporters there are dozens of gunshot victims from the area. In the Middle East, Israel says it struck Hezbollah targets in Lebanon after the militant group fired dozens of rockets towards northern Israel overnight. There are reports of damage to homes in Israel and of Hezbollah rockets landing much further into Israel than before, close to the port city of Haifa. Hezbollah said it had attacked military targets. The Israeli military warned that its strike against Hezbollah will continue and will intensify. The latest escalation follows last week's attacks on Hezbollah pages and walkie-talkies. Israel had said its airstrike in Beirut killed a dozen senior Hezbollah commanders, while Lebanon said 45 people, including 3 children, were killed. Earlier today, sirens sounded over large parts of northern Israel. The Israel Defense Forces said more than 100 rockets have been fired across the border overnight. It subsequently said that another 85 were launched later in the morning. Israeli forces have raided the offices of news broadcaster Al Jazeera in Ramallah in the occupied West Bank and ordered it to close for an initial period of 45 days. Armed and masked Israeli soldiers entered the building earlier in the morning during a live broadcast. Viewers watched as the troops handed the closure order to the network's West Bank bureau chief Walid Al-Omari, who read it out live on air. Recall, Israel raided Al Jazeera's offices in Nazareth and occupied East Jerusalem in May, having described the Qatar-based broadcaster as a threat to national security. Al Jazeera journalist Mohammed Al-Sathin said the soldiers confiscated the last microphone and camera off the street outside and forced Omari out of the office. Posting about the raid on social media, Al-Sathin said the troops also pulled down a poster of Shirin Abu Akleh, an Al Jazeera reporter who was killed while covering a raid by Israeli forces in the West Bank. The network and witnesses at the time said the Palestinian-American reporter was shot by Israeli forces. Israel initially argued that she had been shot by a Palestinian. However, months later concluded there was a high probability that one of its soldiers killed her. Now talking sports, Galatasaray triumphed over Fenerbahce 3-1, ending Fenerbahce's impressive 32-match unbeaten streak in the Turkish Super League last night. This match marked Jose Mourinho's debut as Fenerbahce's coach in the Istanbul Derby, which resulted in a bitter defeat for the Portuguese manager. Recall that Osimhen, who joined from Napoli on loan in his debut match against Çaykur Rizespor, also provided an assist last week. The victory solidified Galatasaray's position at the top of the Super League table, while Fenerbahce's hopes of winning the derby were dashed despite Mourinho's tactical efforts. Before we go, here again are the highlights. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for the United States to attend the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Collation of the gubernatorial election results in Edo State by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is in progress. This was revealed by the National Commissioner and Member, Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Haruna, during a press conference. And from the Americas, reporting news that former U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will not take part in the second television debate ahead of November's presidential election. And that was the world news on Radio Alfinju. To view our channel, please follow